Hello everyone, I'm Anas Al Ubaidi, and in this video we have the fourth session, as this is the fourth video in chapter 8 of the curriculum or the syllabus for the Advanced Medical Science Liaison, MSL for short, and Medical Monitor, for short, certification course. And also we refer to the course, certification course, as AMSLC. So this video is part of chapter 8, and chapter 8 is about the foundations of medical monitoring, and the topic for this video is a comprehensive overview of ICH, GCP principles and regional guidelines. ICH refers to International Council for Harmonization, and GCP refers to good clinical practice. So we'll start for the introduction about the topic. As the International Council for Harmonization's Good Clinical Practice, for short ACH-GCP guidelines, are globally, internationally recognized ethical and scientific benchmarks for designing, conducting, and reporting clinical trials involving human participants, meaning the patients who are participating in trials. These guidelines ensure trials are conducted in a way that protects participants' rights, safety, and welfare, while generating credible and reliable data for regulatory approval. By harmonizing clinical practices across borders, ICH-GCP, International Council for Harmonization's Good Clinical Practice, facilitates collaboration and accelerates the delivery of innovative treatments to the global market. ICH-GCP encompasses a unified framework applied to varying degrees worldwide, but remains flexible to accommodate regional adaptations. This adaptability is essential given the diverse regulatory landscapes in regions like the US, United States, Europe as of European Union, Japan, China, and India. And if we remember that this point also reflects to the same idea that the same protocol might have minor or small differences in each region or country, depending on the local regulations of that particular region or that particular country. So, and this exactly is talking about the flexible and adaptation. For instance, as for example here, the US Food and Drug Administration, FDA, emphasizes rapid adverse event reporting under its regulations. Now, while on the other hand, the European Medicines Agency, EMA, in European Union region places stringent conditions on data privacy under GDPR. And as we reflect on such differences, on this particular example, on the same differences that we always reflect upon, and in each occasion to reflect or give a simplest example for the differences, always we bring up the differences between FDA and EMA on regard reporting and data privacy. However, adhering to GCP, good clinical practice principles, is not without challenges. As we know, in each aspect in clinical research, there are challenges, such as navigating regional disparities in regulations, ensuring resource allocation in low-income regions, and consistently managing vast amounts of clinical data. Despite these hurdles, advancements like decentralized clinical trials, DCTs for short, blockchain technology, the audit trail technology system and unified frameworks continue to improve compliance and enhance trial efficiency globally. So, despite all of the challenges, advancements, as for example of advancements, the DCTs, the decentralized clinical trials, the blockchain technology, and unified framework, and many other examples as part of advancements, continue to improve compliance and enhance trial efficiency internationally or globally. Now, the key points for our topic for the day. As of number one, we have the fundamental principles of ICH-GCP, International Council for Harmonization's Good Clinical Practice. Despite of the order, we'll start A with protection of trial subjects. And from the name of the title, meaning protecting the participants or the patients who are participating as subjects, as we refer them to subjects in the clinical trials. So ensures participants protecting what exactly? So ensures participants' rights, safety, and welfare are prioritized throughout the trials. Includes the rights to informed consent, withdrawal at any time, and assurance of minimal harm. So patient safety by increasing the benefits and minimize the harm and the risk. The free will of deciding whether to consent to participate or not, and even if they decided to participate and they decided to change their mind and withdraw after, they are allowed to. As for example of protection of trial subjects, participants in phase 2 oncology trial receive detailed information about treatment risks and potential side effects through comprehensible informed consent documents aligned with good clinical practice, the GCP. B. Scientific soundness. Clinical trials must be based on robust preclinical evidence to justify human exposure. Protocols should outline clear objectives, endpoints, and scientifically valid methods. All these aspects has to be clarified, has to be clarified, and have to be clarified and mentioned in the protocol. As for each trial, clinical study, there is a protocol for it. Example of scientific soundness: a new antibiotic study is initiated only after extensive in vitro and animal studies demonstrate its efficacy and safety. As this example of having robust preclinical evidence. C. Protocol adherence. Every trial must follow a pre-approval protocol to ensure consistency and validity. Personally, I refer protocol for each trial as it's the constitution for that trial. As protocol for each trial covers for that particular certain trial everything from A to Z. Protocols must also undergo review by an independent ethics committee and be updated when changes arise. So those protocols, of course, are allowed or might be going through modifications, amendments while the trial is ongoing. And it happens, although those protocols are pre-approved prior to starting the trial. But still, ongoing changes within ongoing trials might occur. Example, for protocol adherence, an investigator obtaining ethics committee approval for a protocol amendment to include additional participant subgroups. D. Investigator qualification. Investigators must have appropriate proper medical training and expertise in therapeutic areas under study. So the principal investigators, and also sub-investigators might include as well. Their qualifications are important to align and go within the trials or the studies they are conducting. So example, a clinical study investigating pediatric vaccines is supervised by pediatricians specializing in infectious diseases. So here, referring to the pediatricians, as they are the principal investigators or investigators supervising or conducting trials investigating pediatric vaccines, as for this example. Data recording, reporting, and integrity. So all clinical trial data must be documented accurately, securely stored, and readily available for audit and review. Example for that, a sponsor using electronic data capture, EDC systems, ensures consistency in data from trials conducted across 3 continents. And this is very common, especially for the global international trials. Uh, One certain trial, bigger scale, globally conducted, could be across 3 continents. And here, the sponsor using EDC, electronic data capture, or electronic case report form, ECRF, some professionals might refer to, so that ensures consistency in data. F, monitoring and quality assurance. So trials require independent monitoring to ensure compliance and identify discrepancies. Quality assurance systems must be in place to mitigate risks effectively. As for example, a monitor uses risk-based models to flag sites that show inconsistent adverse event reporting trends. G, compliance with regulatory requirements. So, sponsors and investigators must comply with legal obligations within the regions where clinical trials are conducted. We'll bring the same example here we brought in the introduction and in previous sessions. Clinical trials conducted in the EU European Union follow GDPR to ensure strict data privacy, while in the United States, US, trials must adhere to FDA guidelines for adverse event reporting. And as we see here, this particular example we are seeing very common and applies into the same point, that the flexibility and adaptation for one certain trial, that its protocol might see or might face or have has might have small differences or some differences between one region and another according to the local regulations. So here there is a nice diagram for the ICH-GCP principles, the International Council for Harmonization's Good Clinical Practice Principles, as we have the protection of the trial subjects, the participants, scientific soundness, investigator qualification, and protocol adherence. 2 regional guidelines and their contributions. So, despite of the order, will bring the countries or the regions with their regional or local guidelines and contributions accordingly. So, United States, US, FDA, CFR, Title 21. So here focuses on ensuring participant safety and robust adverse event reporting, places emphasize on key oversight by institutional review boards, for short, IRBs. As for example, a trial on biologics must electronically report serious adverse events to the FDA within 15 days of discovery. So this is particularly locally applied to US, as the trials in the US follow the FDA guidelines, right? As for example, reporting the FDA with serious adverse events 15 days of discovery, meaning 15 days from knowing or being informed about the serious adverse event. B, Europe, as of European Union, EMA, which is European Medicines Agency. And here it's EUDRALEX or EUDRALEX, Volume 10. And here enforces data privacy under GDPR and prescribes detailed procedures for ethics and trial applications. As for example, EMA mandates the inclusion of patient representatives and designing trials that account for varied cultural and demographic factors. See Japan, And in Japan, the trials there or clinical research follows the Pharmaceutical and Medical Devices Act, and here upholds high quality control and investigator sites readiness before prior to study initiation. Example: investigators or the principal investigators must undergo site audits to perform early phase trials under Japanese GCP. D. China. NMPA guidelines in China particularly focuses on stringent requirements for early phase and bioequivalence studies with a preference for local trial data generation. As for example, a global pharmaceutical company sponsors a phase 1 trial in China to ensure meaningful data is produced for the local population. In India. In India, the clinical research trials there follow the ICMR and CDSCO guidelines, requires mandatory ethics review and fast tracking for drugs addressing conditions with high unmet needs. As for an example, trials investigating treatments for rare genetic conditions in India undergo prioritized review under CDSCO guidelines. So here there is a nice diagram, justifies and summarize what we explained about the differences in the guidelines between one country and another, between one region and another. So global clinical trial guidelines and their focus areas. United States, we have in the central global clinical trial guidelines, GDPR, and here we have the United States, participant safety, adverse event reporting, while in China, early phase studies and local trial data. In Europe, data privacy, ethics and trials. In Japan, we have the site audits, investigator readiness or readiness. 3. Importance of the ICH-GCP, International Council for Harmonization's Good Clinical Practice and Clinical Trials. So the application of ICH-GCP guidelines ensures, despite of the order, ensures global harmonization, facilitates consistent trial quality and ethical standards across countries. As for example, multinational collaboration in COVID-19 vaccine development benefited from harmonized GCP, good clinical practice principles. Participant protection, the patient safety, right? So here protects participants, the subjects, from unethical practices and ensures their data privacy at every stage of the trial. Regulatory compliance ensures trial data meets the requirements for regulatory approval in multiple jurisdictions. Efficient collaboration promotes seamless interaction among stakeholders, including sponsors, CROs, the clinical or the contract research organizations or clinical research organizations, and investigators. Example, for the efficient collaboration, diabetes drug trials across Europe and Asia align protocols seamlessly under unified ICH-GCP standards. Here, a nice diagram about ensuring ethical and efficient global clinical trials with ICH-GCP, as we have the efficient collaboration, facilitates seamless interaction among trial stakeholders. And here the stakeholders are the sponsors, CROs, and investigators. Global harmonization ensures consistent trial quality and ethical standards worldwide, globally. Regulatory compliance, we have here regulatory compliance meets regulatory requirements for trial data across jurisdictions. And then we have the participant protection, safeguards participants from unethical practices and ensures data privacy. Number 4, we have here challenges in implementing GCP globally. As we know, with any implementation in clinical research, there are challenges. So the challenges in implementing a good clinical practice globally, internationally, despite the order, we have diverse regional regulations. And we referred to this issue, the local regulations, regional regulations, the diversity in it multiple times. So variations in guidelines can create delays, such as divergent approval timelines. And the solution for this challenge: engage local regulatory experts yearly for streamlined trials. B, we have the resource constraints. Low-income countries lack the infrastructure for GCP implementation, good clinical practice implementation. But the solution for that can be built by building regional capacity through collaborations or external funding. C, documentation consistency. Different languages and data formats lead to discrepancies. Solution for that: to use global standards such as CDI-SC for simplified data sharing and analysis. D, evolving guidelines. Updates like ICH-E6 R3 necessitate quick adaptation of processes and training. And the solution for that is to develop robust standard operating procedures, SOPs, to integrate revisions effectively. And here we have a nice diagram of about navigating global GCP good clinical practice implementation challenges and the challenges in implementing GCP globally, as here in the diagram, the same ABCD we mentioned: diverse regional regulations, resource constraints, documentation consistency, and evolving guidelines. Five here, of course, the recent advancements in GCP practices, good clinical practices. Despite the order, we have the DCTs, as we said in the introduction. Decentralized clinical trials utilizes telemedicine and remote monitoring for greater participant access. As for example, remote e-consent allows participation of rural patients in a cardiovascular trial. And this is the best example we can refer or reflect on the decentralized clinical trials, using, we still consent the patients to be participants, the ones who are willing to be participants after they read the consent electronically. They can sign electronically as of e-signature or e-consent, e-consenting, electronic consenting, in order to facilitate and make the participation easier. B, digital technologies for data integrity. And here we have the blockchain. We're going back to the blockchain as for example, as for data technology, digital technology, which is the audit trail system, secures consent and data records, ensuring transparency. As for example, blockchain ensures tamper-proof documentation of clinical findings. Because why? Because the blockchain here ensures the audit trail, meaning for any data, um, so that any data will be if changed or corrected or modified, the thread for changing the data, the timing for each change, and the person or the professional who did the changes will be documented. C, advanced risk-based monitoring leverages predictive analytics to focus oversight on high-risk areas. Example, statistical models flag over-enrollment in specific trial sites for sponsor review. D, convergence of regional standards, increased regulatory collaboration between regions like FDA in USA and EMA in European Union, simplifies requirements for sponsors. Example, oncology drug submissions are expedited under unified EMA FDA pathways. As this is one of the examples for recent advancements in GCP practices. Here, a nice diagram of the clinical trial innovations as of the four recent advancements that have been implemented to address or to resolve or enhance the GCP practices or implementation. Decentralized trials, DCTs, utilizes remote methods for participant access. Data integrity ensures secure and transparent data management. Risk-based monitoring focuses oversight on high-risk trial areas, and regulatory convergence as of simplifies requirements through regional collaboration. Applications and practice table, the topic and the application example as of for patient safety ethics boards reviewing trial designs for high-risk populations. Data management, blockchain technology for real-time data tracking, cross-region trials, unified protocols, and training materials for multi-country or trials. Risk-based auditing, enhanced AI models to improve focus on high-risk areas. Participant inclusion, using remote monitoring to recruit underrepresented groups. So, through the combination of ethical principles grounded in ICH-GCP, International Council for Harmonization's Good Clinical Practice, and regional adaptations, clinical trials worldwide are conducted with the highest standards of safety, patient safety, and quality by addressing challenges and leveraging advancements. Future trials will only become more efficient, ethical, and globally harmonized. And this is these are the um, outcomes that we need to always to try to achieve and always to aim to achieve more efficient, ethical, and globally harmonized future trials. Summary tables. As of Table 1, we have key principles of ICH-GCP, the principle, description, example, purpose, and then key stakeholders. As principle, we have the protection of subjects, scientific soundness, protocol adherence, data recording and monitoring, and quality assurance, QA. Table 2, we have the regional guidelines for ICH-GCP compliance, the region, key focus area, unique requirement, example, and broader impact, as we have FDA for United States, EMA for Europe, PMDA for Japan, NMPA for China, ICMR, and CDSCO for India. Table 3, we have the challenges in ICH-GCP compliance and solutions. As here, we have the challenge, the impact, the solution, the practical example, improvement achieved. The challenge, we have the diverse regulations, we have the resource constraints, we have the data standardization, evolving guidelines, and technology barriers. As for Table 4, we have the recent advancements in ICH-GCP practices, advancement, area of application, example, improvement achieved, and implementation tools. We have the DCTs, the decentralized trials, e-consent platform, blockchain integration, advanced risk-based models, advanced RBM or RBMs, regulatory harmonization. Also, we have Table 5, the applications of ICH-GCP in clinical practices, the area of application, the key action taken, monitoring type, example, and positive outcome for it. As of area of application, we have the patient safety measures, we have the protocol standardization, adverse event AE documentation, telemedicine adoption, and the investigator training. Application table, we have the scenario, the key principle applied, key actions, timeline, and what to watch out for. As for scenario, we have reviewing participant consent forms and the key principle applied, protection of trial subjects. Scenario for aligning multinational trial protocols, we have the key principle applied, global harmonization. For the scenario validating trial investigator qualifications, the key principle applied, we have the investigator qualifications. For the scenario implementing blockchain for data tracking, we have data recording and reporting, the key principle that was applied. And for the scenario of conducting audits for regulatory compliance, we have the key principle that was applied was monitoring and quality assurance. Also continuing for the scenario of adapting to revised GCP guidelines, the key principle applied was compliance with regulations, monitoring patient confidentiality. We have the principle that was applied, privacy and confidentiality. For the scenario of decentralized trial setup for remote monitoring, we have the key principle applied, advanced digital technologies. And then the scenario risk-based allocation of monitoring resources, key principle applied, we have the advanced RBM, risk-based monitoring. Scenario, we have resolving regional compliance conflicts. We have the key principle applied, regional guidelines. Next, we'll come to some examples through multiple choice questions, MCQs, as of question 1. What is the primary purpose of ICH-GCP guidelines in clinical trials? Is it A, to prioritize sponsor profitability, B, to ensure scam-free advertisement campaigns, C, to protect trial participants and ensure data integrity, or D, to eliminate trial site inspections? So it is C, to protect trial participants and ensure data integrity, as ICH-GCP guidelines are designed to safeguard the rights and welfare of participants while maintaining the scientific validity and reliability of data collected during the trial. Question 2. Which principle of ICH-GCP focuses specifically on ensuring the fairness of participant recruitment? Is it A, data recording? Is it B, privacy and confidentiality? Is it C, justice? Is it D, scientific soundness? And it is justice. As through justice, we maintain the fairness and the recruitment for participants or subjects. As justice ensures that trials do not exploit specific groups and that participant recruitment is equitable, respecting diversity and fairness in selection processes. Question 3. How does the European Medicines Agency, EMA, and the European Union align its regional clinical trial regulations with ICH-GCP? Is it A, by mandating investigator-led trials only? Is it B, through compliance with data privacy measures like GDPR? Is it C, by rejecting all international data submissions? Or is it D, by banning multinational trials? Definitely it's through B, through compliance with data privacy measures like GDPR. And here, EMA's regulations include GDPR for ensuring the secure and ethical handling of trial participants' data while maintaining alignment with ICH-GCP principles. Question 4. What is a common challenge in global ICH-GCP compliance? Is it A, lack of participant willingness? Is it B, uniform data points across all regulators? Is it C, diverse regional regulations with varying timelines? Or is it D, restriction to paper-based documentation only? So it is C, diverse regional regulations with varying timelines, as different regulatory requirements and approval processes often create delays and inconsistencies in trials conducted across multiple regions. And then question 5, what is an example of technological advancement aiding ICH-GCP compliance? Is it manual informed consent filing, A? Is it B, blockchain for data traceability? Is it C, exclusive reliance on handwritten patient logs? Is it D, banning the use of telemedicine? So it is B, the blockchain, the audit trail system for data traceability, as blockchain technology enhances data transparency and prevents tampering in maintaining a secure and immutable record of all trial-related documentation. And here we comes to the end of this video. Thank you very much and goodbye.